Welcome to the Holborn Assets channel. In this series, we look at major events in the history of economics that help to shape the world we live in today. If any of you think of an event we missed, or there's some topic on money and finance you'd like us to discuss, just leave a comment and it'll help us make the videos you want to see. In the years leading up to the 22nd of May 1906, the Wright Brothers experienced many ups and downs in their pioneering work in aviation. They first started experimenting with flight by designing gliders, and by 1903 had decided to add a purpose-built gasoline engine to their contraptions. Over the next 3 years, numerous designs were tried to differing degrees of success, and rival aviation engineers from Europe were dismissive of their claims to have achieved powered flights, often branding them as hoaxes in the face of any evidence. So, when the Wright brothers obtained their US patent for new and useful improvements in flying machines on the 22nd of May 1906, they had the opportunity to silence the doubters and commercialize air travel. By 1912, they had sold planes to the US military, and although these were plagued with design issues that caused them to crash, the commercial implications of aviation were now significant. In 1914, the first commercial flights were offered to the public in the US for short hops across Tampa. And when Lindenberg crossed the Atlantic Ocean in the spirit of St. Louis in 1927, the seeds were sown for the lucrative aviation industry that exists today. In 2017, if aviation were a country, it would rank 21st in the world in terms of GDP, generating $664 billion per year, the same as Switzerland. Elon Musk made his fortune as co-founder of PayPal, but his interest in interplanetary technologies started out when he began to design greenhouses that could grow plants on Mars. Frustrated in his attempts to find a company that could supply him with rocket shuttles to transport his greenhouses, he decided to design his own, and so Spacex was founded. In 2012, the Spacex Dragon became the first commercial space shuttle to berth with the International Space Station. This moment represented a giant leap forward in the economics and future of space travel. Musk has stated that the next milestone he will achieve in commercial space travel will be to transport a private citizen to the moon in 2018. His ultimate goal is to establish a colony on Mars. He is currently worth around $20.7 billion, which may go some way to achieve those aims. There are still technological hurdles to leap through though. In 2016, an unmanned Spacex rocket that was carrying a Facebook satellite ended in disaster as the rocket exploded at liftoff from Cape Canaveral. The satellite was intended to bring wireless internet to sub-Saharan Africa. After 7 years of trying and failing to find oil in Iran, George Reynolds was told by William Darcy that he could fund one final attempt. A hole was drilled 1,600 feet into the ground and oil was struck, a spectacular gush shooting 75 feet into the air. In 1909, Darcy formed the Anglo-Persian Oil Company and floated shares on the stock market. His company would later become known as BP. During World War I, the British government became the majority shareholder in Anglo-Persian Oil as the fuel was vital to the war machine. And by the time World War II came along, the British, US and Russia all had private oil companies in Iran. Political influence and control of Iranian oil products was crucial, and corrupt Iranian government offered no resistance to the foreign powers. Then, in 1951, the Iranian government nationalized its oil industry and was promptly shunned by the countries that it cut out. That year, the only foreign sale of Iranian oil was of 300 barrels to an Italian merchant ship. To regain control, the UK and US not so secretly backed a military coup in 1953. But the 1979 revolution saw the government overthrown again, and the new rulers declared Iran an Islamic republic. Domestic bloody turmoil erupted among the Iranian people as foreign interests attempted to establish control over its oil production. The following decades have seen conflict and instability in Iran, including the Iraq-Iran War from 1980 to 1988. So that was the week. We're sure there were plenty of other important things going on, but we don't want to get carried away, do we? Don't forget to subscribe to Holborn Assets, not just to learn more about the history of economics, but also for plenty of videos on making simple investments, starting saving, and just generally taking control of your finances.